Ever since VelociCoaster started taking shape at Islands of Adventure, we knew it was going to be something special. Built by Intamin, this was the next installation of their Blitz coaster model, now known as their LSM launch coaster. In between its layout and its Jurassic Park theme, people were thinking that this could possibly be the best coaster in the world. I made my way to Orlando for its grand opening, and I was able to get 2 rides, one after opening and one before closing. And today, I want to answer the question, does VelociCoaster live up to the hype? There was a lot of talk about the coaster leading up to its opening. The official POV was released. Pass holders got the ride way back in early May, and then it was in technical rehearsal for weeks afterward, but I did not see any of it. I went into this ride completely blind, other than a few comments here or there raving about how great it was, but I wasn't really sold on it. People love Maverick also, but Maverick isn't my favorite thing. But let me tell you, this is no Maverick, not even close. Let's start with the theme. This is in Jurassic Park, and you're basically riding through a raptor enclosure, with Chris Pratt trying to convince you not to do so. But you just waited a few hours for the experience, and you're gonna do it anyway. Once you enter the indoor queue, you'll see a set of windows straight ahead, and when the lights turn red, you see the train fly through one of its launches, with a projection of raptors chasing the train, which is a really nice touch. You pass through some animatronic muzzled raptors, with, of course, the one that managed to break free. Before you enter the station, you put all your stuff in a free locker, and these are double-sided, so you can get your stuff at the end, without getting in the way of oncoming riders. You'll want to get pretty much everything out of your pockets, because they do make you pass through a metal detector. And then you go up the stairs to the station level. So at this point, I have no phone, I have no camera, I have no footage of anything from the lockers all the way to the station. So then you head up the stairs to the station level. And when you approach the station, you'll be assigned a row, but you can request a row. When I was there right after the park closed, they made an announcement over the PA that there would be no more row requests. The park just wanted to fill the trains as quickly as possible. So on my first ride, I was assigned row 11, and that was the second to last row, so I was happy with that. And then at night, I ended up with row 8. There are up to 4 trains on the track at a time, and there are super quick dispatches. It takes about 30 or 40 seconds, and that really keeps the line moving. You sit down on the train and pull down your lap bar, one of those over-the-head style ones that Intamin and Mock rides use. And yes, you'll always have to worry they'll bring back the awful Skyrush lap bars, but these are absolutely perfect. I've never been a fan of these from any manufacturer, since they seem to tighten too much. Intamin did a perfect job. Onto the ride experience. You turn into the first launch, 0 to 50 in 2 seconds, and I felt that launch let up a little bit. It's got some bite, but it's not a great launch. It flies right into a high bank turn, and up into a dive loop. I didn't even realize that this was an inversion on my first ride. Without watching the POV, I went in having no idea of the order of the elements, other than what I observed in line, and the first half of the ride is mostly hidden from the public, unless you walk around to the side away from the entrance. From here, the train goes into a mess of snappy turns and weaving elements through its scenery, including through some rockwork. And there is one really good moment of airtime, where you crest the hill and then dip to the left. But for the most part, this is a low-to-the-ground showcase of the scenery, as well as some classic, non-inverting blitz coaster maneuvers. And then you hit that second launch, and this one's a powerhouse. I don't know why I seem to like the booster launches more than the ones where you're just starting out. Just like that 15 mph boost on Time Traveler seems so much more intense than when you start from a dead stop. And the 0 to 50 in 2 seconds, on paper, seems better than the 40 to 70 in 2.4 seconds. But I'm just telling you how it feels. And that second launch is a riot. You fly right into the 155-foot top hat, which is kind of the signature element of the ride, and by far the highest point, and the most visible part throughout the park. And then you take an 80-degree plunge back to the ground, and that gives some powerful sustained ejector in the back half of the train. At this point, the whole layout is right in public view, flying over the footpaths, and the main reason that you have to take everything out of your pockets. This is especially important for that 0G stall, where it flips you upside down, and then leaves you there for 2 seconds before completing the roll. And then it circles around into this rapid change in direction, where it twists left, then right, while diving down, throwing you out of your seat, and then circles back around one more time, and this time it's setting you up for the barrel roll, the one that everyone dreamed about for Maverick before removing it for his opening day. This feels like this would have been that element, and it's glorious. It's a funky feeling to have the train just dip down and fling you underneath it, and it's a really strong last element before twisting up into the brakes. When I got off the first time, this was my reaction.
First impressions, very impressive, very long ride. I would say top 50 for sure, top 30 probably, top 20 probably not. But the cool thing is that after we got off, We got free churros.
Sometimes it takes time to process a ride and really appreciate what it does in the big picture. Maybe we get too focused on ride elements, and this gets lost when you first step off a ride. So throughout the day, without riding it or even seeing it again, I start to process the things that VelociCoaster does well. Let's start off with its 4,700 feet of track and 75-second prime ride time. I know that Disney and Universal coasters seem to be on the longer side, but this is still solid and noteworthy, especially for a coaster that maxes out at 75 miles per hour. I've heard people throw around the term complete package, and I totally get that. It really is the complete package of what a roller coaster can be. It has length, it has unique elements, it has inversions, it has airtime, it has theming in the queue obviously, but also some on the ride itself. I expected there to be more, but what it has is perfectly fine, between the raptors on the walls before the launch and all the rockwork it's weaving through. Throw in amazing lap bars and comfortable trains, as well as an amazing throughput, and you have a Grand Slam edition for the park. If I'm gonna nitpick a little bit, there are a few moments in the first half that are pretty forceless, and the first half as a whole is kind of lackluster, but it's still fun and it extends the ride. But the second half, after the second launch, makes this ride what it is. I'd say the first half reminds me a little bit of Cheetah Hunt. It's fun, but nothing to rave about. And the second half is different than any other coaster out there, so it's hard to even compare. Maybe if you combine Storm Runner and Maverick, and throw in Maverick's long-lost Heartline roll, you get VelociCoaster. And then there's the night rides. Universal equipped the trains with those amazing blue lights. Kinda reminds me of Tron. And the way the train darts around in the dark is amazing to watch, especially when it's over the water, and you see those blue lights just reflecting off of it. It's a beautiful ride to look at during the day, and even more so at night. So how would I rank this up? My initial thoughts were, well, that was better than Maverick, and that's in my 30s, so let's start there. There isn't one thing that Maverick does better than VelociCoaster. Maverick's drop is 15 degrees steeper, but VelociCoaster's is 55 feet higher. Both hit 70 miles per hour, and Maverick does it from a near standstill, while VelociCoaster rolls into it at 40 miles per hour. But I thought both were a huge rush, so I don't prefer one over the other. VelociCoaster is longer, it has a wider variety of elements, it has that barrel roll that was taken away from Maverick, it has better airtime moments, and the knockout blow is the restraints. Instead of those soft strap restraints with those bulky bars, VelociCoaster has those amazing lap bars. So it's better than Maverick. Now what? Is it the best coaster in Florida? I got to re-ride Mako the next day, and it was just as great this time as when I rode it in 2018. But as fun as all that sustained floater airtime is, VelociCoaster just has so much more going for it. So yes, this is the best coaster in Florida. And no, I didn't go in thinking that it was going to be that amazing. I'm not saying this just because it's a popular thing to say. It really is this good. I draw the line at Ghost Rider. I still prefer Ghost Rider over VelociCoaster, so this lands at number 10. I think that's a good spot for it right now, and I don't blame anyone who ranks this as their new number 1 overall. So, finally, the question at hand. Does VelociCoaster live up to the hype? Absolutely yes. From the theming leading up to the ride, to the operations, to the ride experience itself, throwing launches, positives, negatives, unique inversions, great restraints. This is such a huge winner for Islands of Adventure, and it should be on every enthusiast bucket list. If you were able to ride VelociCoaster over the last month and a half, let me know what you thought of it in the comments below. I'm sure that everyone at least likes it, but some people may have hyped it up too much in their mind, and maybe it didn't live up to it, especially if anyone thought there would be more in-ride theming, like with Hagrid's. That's definitely not the case with VelociCoaster, but the ride experience more than makes up for it. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to drop a like. That's the best way to show your support for the channel. And if you're new here and love coasters, be sure to subscribe for more content just like this. Also, check out my links below for my Discord server, where you can chat with other fans of the channel, as well as my second channel, where I post copyright-free off-ride footage. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time.